like he's ready to return.
Yeah, look, he's been full practice this week. Last week he was like progressing well, so yeah, he'll be suiting up tomorrow night, that's for sure.
How important is it to get him back into the lineup?
Yeah, look, he's an important piece because I think it gives Bryce a little breathing room. It's just another dynamic ball handler that can put heat on the opposition defense from 75, 80 feet away. So I'm sure Bryce is looking forward to him being back on the floor as well.
How's his overall fitness? He missed some in pre-season as well. So
yep.
Is he good for a lot of minutes, or is it you're on a bit of restriction with him?
No, like he'll play as much as I feel fit. And I'm not an expert in this, but the injury he had pretty obscure, so it was just a matter of how quickly he could turn that around. And his work rate last week and this week has been very good, so he'll be joining us in full capacity.
Can you explain just when you say obscure, elaborate on that, but then also clean bill of health for everyone else to choose from?
Zunic is still missing. He looks like he's trending for next week. He's doing some really good work this week. Just can't join in the team stuff yet, but that should happen next week.
Melbourne United as well, what have you sort of made of them and maybe some of the threats that they've got?
Yeah, look, you know, probably rightfully so. They're considered championship contenders with the lineup and the roster they've built. You know, you got the likes of Dellavedova, Chris Golding, Luke Travers, Rob Lowe, who they got on injury replacement. They got the next star, Hockporty. But then, you know, they got some nice young players as well on their roster that come in and play with a good passion and energy. Flynn Cameron, Kyle Bowen. So we can't allow those guys to impact the game as well. And then, geez, NBA championship winner Ian Clark. So their roster is deep.
How much focus do you put on sort of Luke Travers, the fact that he's a former player? I mean, has the team changed enough for you to kind of go, we don't need to necessarily worry so much about what he knows about our team?
Yeah, like how we deal with Luke Travers, we respect his abilities. Now we should have a good beat on how he plays, you know, so we just treat him. Obviously there's history there, you can't deny the history, but as far as how we prepare for Melbourne United, it's no different.
Do you try to get in his head at all? Do you know his personality? Is there a way of getting him off guard in the game at all?
We're obviously going to try and expose his weaknesses or what we feel are weaknesses. But if we start focusing just too much on him and trying to prove a point or whatever, then you really forget about the true focus. And then, you know, they have a plethora of really good players, so we just can't get focused on that.
John, you issued a fine from Basketball Australia recently. Can you explain or elaborate what that was for and maybe the repercussions of it?
I dealt with that last week, and somehow the repercussions become public.
Is it in relation to South East Melbourne Phoenix?
I dealt with that last week, and it's way behind me now. I've moved on.
It's only become public this week, though, so this is your first opportunity, our first opportunity to ask you, your first opportunity to give your side of the story publicly. It's been reported in papers over East that it happened, obviously. You're not comfortable explaining what happened?
No, I'll keep my word on all of this.
Keanu Pinder spent time in training yesterday and was sitting down again.
Yeah.
Is he fit? Is that right foot causing him problems?
No, like Keanu, like his fitness, the way he plays, like the way, like the technology with catapult and all of that stuff, like, you know, he gets to a threshold, and that threshold just isn't today. Like the statistics, the, you know, the data behind it all, like he gets to a point like any other player. We make sure, because we talk about Friday night's game, we also travel Saturday and then play Sunday, so we need the best Keanu Pinder out on the court for the games than practice.
Kieran said yesterday that he was disappointed with his performance on the weekend, Christian said he was disappointed with his performance on the weekend, but that you had given assurances that he's fulfilling the role you want from him.
Yep.
What does he need to do to sort of elevate his game after a couple of weeks here now?
Yes, like most players get disappointed when they don't perform to the level that they want. I was just reassuring him what he brings to the team. mightn't necessarily show up statistically. Like, it's easy to say he had 0 points, but his defensive efforts, his rebounding, the synergy he has on the floor with some of the players to get them open and so forth, that he brings great value. So I look at it when he does produce the points at the level that he does and we want, like it's just like icing on the cake. So I wanted to make sure he understood, like, import roles are tough and it's so easy to get caught up in the points that they score. You know, so I just wanted to make sure he understood that points are fantastic, but he has more impact and he was brought into this team to be more than just scoring points.
But he's got more to offer, though.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's encouraging that, like, when a player takes ownership of what they're about, like, that's pleasing to me because it can only get better, especially after a win.
He went to a supermarket that's not one of your sponsors for some shopping. Do you have any cereal recommendations for him to try while he's here? He seems keen to try some Australian foods.
Nutri-Grain. Yes.
That's all my questions.
I think he said Coke Pops.
Yeah.
Frosty Flakes.
Frosty Flakes.
Not that.
Nutri-Grain.
Something covered in sugar.
Iron Man food.
I'm done.
When we got to that question, we knew we were done before it even started. We knew you were going to ask it, so that's the way to finish it up.
No worries, thank you.
That up nicely for everybody.
Thanks, guys.